Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. I'm Renata Kalniūnienė, Marketing Project Manager at Softneta, and this training is going to be hosted by our system integrator Marius Šadauskas. Also, today we are going to have our Chief Integration Officer Artūras Gruodis. He is going to help us with the questions. And I want to mention that this training is going to be dedicated for non-DICOM support and worklist theme. So priority questions will be answered in the end of the training about these themes. All the general questions or questions about new release is going to be answered separately. If we can't answer to some questions, we're going to send separately by the emails with a recording and presentation file of this training. Also, one more thing, don't forget to ask your question in the chat section. You can write your question during all the training, but in the end of the training, I'm going to read the questions and Marius or Artūras is going to answer to them. And please stay muted during all the training and don't share your screen. Also, this meeting is going to be recorded and the recording is going to be sent by your emails in few days. So I think this is it. Marius, you can share your screen and start the training.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. In just a moment, I will share my screen. And we can start Very good. So let's start our webinar. Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening. So on today's webinar, we will talk about non-DICOM support and worklist. So let's jump through the of the webinar. So I will briefly present our new functionality of non-DICOM file support. It will be broader presented during our new version release. So it will be just a sneak peek, of our new thing. And of course, our main topic, which a lot of people asked to have webinar is Modality worklist. So we will talk about it. I will present you our tool, which you can use, which can help you to while you are developing the Modality worklist, help you to check if everything is going, is it showing correctly, and all these things which are done during development phase. And of course, I will talk about the MedDream PACS Premium and MedDream PACS Lite, how we can create the work list in these two systems, and I will present you our DICOM Modality work list service. So let's jump first to the first part of the webinar about the non-DICOM. So from MedDream version 8.1, it will be possible to view studies that will contain not only DICOM but also non-DICOM files, and the supported formats will be text, BMP, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, PDF, and MP4 files. And this non-DICOM files will be available if you will be using the token-enabled integration. So once this new version is released, and if you would like to try this non-DICOM support, so you can always contact our support team, and they will help you to set up everything. They will explain you how to do it and how to test it. And of course, I will just in a minute, I will show you how it works. And to tell more about this non-DICOM support, so actually it's already used by 4 different vendors, and this non-DICOM support is based on the MedDream plugin. And this plugin is developed by Softneta, and it developed according to each vendor system specifications and the requirements for that, because some has a little different, some has other workflow, how these non-DICOMs should be displayed. So we are taking notes on this, and we developed 4 different plugins for these vendors. So if you also are a PACS vendor or risk producer and you would like to show non-DICOM files in addition with the DICOM files, so it is possible to have such functionality. So you can always always contact our sales team, discuss your needs, discuss the workflow, and it can be achieved. So in 8.1 version, the non-DICOM will look like this. This is a screenshot, but I want to show you the example in real life. So on the screen, I hope you can see it. We have the MedDream viewer here, and as mentioned, it will be available with the token-enabled integration. So it is pretty straightforward if you already used. If no, just contact us. We will explain you how to use it. So basically, you would send the JSON request to the token service, and the JSON would consist of the location where your non-DICOM files are located, and the storage ID. Once you have this token, generated token, you can open your MedDream, put token equals token, and it will open you the viewer with that non-DICOM images. As you can see, it is possible to view the BMP file. It's possible to have MP4 files, JPEG files, PDF, TIFF file. It can take maybe 10 seconds or 2 to convert and to show, and also the text files. So as you can see, different kind of files are available. Also, all the functionalities for the files, for different files also are here, like zooming, zoom in, zoom out, rotation and everything, and export, and all these functionalities are here. So this is more or less how it will look like. And as mentioned, this is just a brief presentation of this non-DICOM, and more details will be on our next webinar about all new functionalities of the MedDream viewer. So let's come back here to the slides, and let's move to our main part today for the modality worklist. And for those who don't know or what is this DICOM modality worklist, so basically it's this functionality allows creating orders for usually in hospital information system or radiology information system, and send these orders to the PACS or server with the patient information, requested procedure descriptions, time of the scheduled procedure, physician name, requesting physician, and so on. And radiologist who is working with the devices or the modalities, they are then presented with that list. They see the list of the patients who will be coming for the exams, and they can do these exams simply by selecting the patient from the work list. So instead of being required to manually enter a patient name, patient last name, first name, birthday, and all the demographic information, they already have this information in very convenient form, and they just can perform the study and send this information send the study to the PACS. And usually DICOM modality work list can be created, deleted, or modified from HIS system. if we would look at the more, let's say, user-friendly scheme, so HIS system would send a worklist order to the PACS, in this case also a worklist server. So the modalities would query the worklist, they would get the list of the orders, they would perform the exam, and the exam would be sent to the PACS server where it will be stored, and the PACS server can send some also notifications to HIS system indicating that this exam is already done and it is available, for example, to use URL integration, and to the doctors or patients can see them in their mobile phones, workstations, personal computers, or whatever devices they are using. This is a more technical scheme, let's say. You can find it in our MedDream PACS HL7 messaging specification page. So basically, it's the same. So HIS system would register patient, would send order to the PACS, where the worklist will be created. Then the medical device or the modality will query for the procedure, will perform the procedure and send the study to the PACS, which can notify that the study is arrived, and it can be viewed in the MedDream viewer on depending on the integration used. And when you are working with such functionalities of the worklist, so usually you are developing and you are doing it on your test environment, and usually modalities or the devices are not connected to the actual PACS or to the worklist server. So it's hard sometimes for you to tell if the worklist is created correctly, if it's showing all the information. So for this, you can use our tool. It's called SendToPACS. Of course, it's used for many other features like sending DICOM or non-DICOM files to the PACS, but also it has this MedDream, worklist search functionality, which would allow you to search for the specific worklist server, search for the specific patient, specific date, and so on. So it can simulate a modality, and you can, with SendToPACS, you can search the worklist and see if it's coming, if it's showing correctly, and all this information. Here is the screenshot. I will show you this tool also in real time. We will check the worklist. So just wanted to show you here that you can add the multiple worklist servers, from which you can query for the worklist, and this worklist would be presented in a table, and you can open it and see more information about that particular worklist. So now let's jump to the MedDream PACS Premium, and I will show you the ways how the modality worklist can be created. So basically, there is 3 ways how the worklist can be created in MedDream PACS Premium. So we will talk about all these three ways, and we'll try to create the worklist. So of course, the first one is the easiest one, and the most manual one. So by logging into the user interface and creating a worklist, how to do it and more information you can find in our PACS Premium manual on the modality worklist page. So there is this section, and you can find more information here. And if I will open my virtual machine, I will log into PACS Premium, and we have this, maybe I will make it bigger. We have this modality worklist menu item. If we click it, we can see there is a worklist. You can search by today, yesterday, this week, last month, and so on. As you can see, we don't have any worklist here. So the first way, the manual way, would be to press the enter new worklist menu item and enter the worklist. As you can see, here is a lot of different fields which can be filled, but these highlighted fields are a mandatory one, the required one. Without them, you will not be able to create a work list. It will give you error. So you must fill this information like patient name, patient ID, date of birthday. You need to provide the accession number, the requested procedure ID. You need to provide the scheduled attestation or title and the modality, and of course the scheduled start date and start time. Like information like a requested procedure description or referring physician name, requesting referring physician name, and all these informations. These are not mandatory. You can add them, but just for now, for this webinar, for the testing purposes, I will add only required information, and I will press the add button. As you can see, the work list has been created. It is visible here. And if we would open the SendToPACS tool, which I showed you in the slides, so we open the DICOM file info, we press the search button, and I have already added 2 work list servers. So one is for the PACS Premium, another for the Orthanc PACS, which I will present you later. So if I will choose this PACS Premium work list and I will remove the date, means that I want to check for all dates. It doesn't matter if it's today or no. And I will press the search button. It will show me, return me the work list, which is in this work list server in this PACS Premium. So as you can see, there is a work list with the patient information, and you can always press the details and to see if all the tags, all the information you added is presented correctly. So, for example, scheduled attestation, modality, scheduled procedure start time and date, and so on. So you can always check here if the added information is presented correctly. So this is the first way how you can create a work list, and this is the easiest one. The second way how the work list can be created in the MedDream PACS Premium is using the Windows ini files. So MedDream PACS allows creating work lists using these ini files. So these files from specified directory will be automatically read by the PACS Premium. It will be imported to the database and the file will be deleted. Of course, the content of the ini file should be in the specific format, and it should contain the patient information. So what this form looks like and what patient information you can add, you can always find in our PACS Premium manual on Import Worklist section. So here you will find the whole list of the patient information fields which can be used. So here I have the let's say smaller example of this ini file. So as you can see, some of the values are in red color. This means that these values are required. So without them, without patient name, without patient ID, accession number, or without scheduled start date, start time, you will not be able to create a work list. If you will create such file, it will not be imported to the PACS Premium, and it just will stay that in that state, and the work list will not be created. So when you will be testing and creating a work list, make sure that these fields are presented, because these are required one. And the one in black color, like referring physician name, scheduled procedure description, and so on, these fields are not mandatory, but it's usually it's up to you or up to your client if this information is required for them or no. So it's depends on what you are building and what are the requirements. And just one thing we noticed in some older modalities, I would say that sometimes the work list is not displayed if the scheduled procedure ID is empty. So if this would be the case for you, so just try, to create a test the worklist and add any value like 1, 2, 3, ABC or whatever, and add this value to scheduled procedure ID, and to double check if this might be the case, because we had some cases with some modalities that it required this scheduled procedure ID. But the PACS Premium doesn't require it. So it's good, you know, to test it. So let's try to come back to my virtual machine, and let's try to create such a work list from the ini file. So first, what we want to do is go to the configuration page of the PACS Premium, and we need to scroll down to the location where we have this auto scan directory for worklist data. By default, it will be disabled. It means that it will not scan any directory. So you want to enable it and put a directory where you will put all the ini files, and these files will be scanned every 60 seconds. So as I already have this enabled, I can come back here. I have already the ini file prepared for you. This is how it looks like. It's the same from the slides I showed you. So what I will do, I will copy this file and put it here in this folder, because which folder you provide, from that folder it will read. It will not read from the let's say subfolders or something like that. It will read only from this folder. So it will take up to a minute or so while this file will be imported to the PACS, and once it's imported, it will disappear here from the list. So for example, if you have some ini files and they are still here, so most probably there is something wrong with these files, because usually these files should be imported, and ideally this folder in which you save the ini files should be empty. So as you can see, the file is gone. So this means that it was automatically and successfully imported to the PACS Premium. And if I will press again the modality work list, you will see that we have now not one, but the two work lists. So we have the work list for the John Smith, which was this one, and we have it here. And also we can try to test it again on the SendToPACS. Press the search button, and we can see that this work list also arrived successfully, and it has the requested procedure information and all other information which we have put in this in Windows ini file. So as I mentioned, this information can be much wider, but for the testing, I just put the most common and most required fields here. But you can add much more information like procedure descriptions, referring, requesting physicians, performing physicians, and so on. So this is the second way how the work list can be created. So you can create, let's say, some application which would create these ini files, store them in the directory. It could be also the important thing that the PACS Premium would access this directory from the file system. So it can be mounted as network share, or it can be a shared folder, or whatever. It should be accessible from the file system by the PACS Premium. And the third way how the work list can be created, the most complicated, I would say, way is using HL7 messages. So when you install PACS Premium, if you download it and would install the fresh installation, maybe you have noticed that on installation, one of the last installation steps, it would allow you to check mark one setting that it will install HL7 listener. So if you will be installing it, you can check mark and it will install HL7 listener, and it will enable PACS Premium to accept HL7 messages and store them in the database. And in HL7 standard, the creation of the worklist messages is usually done by, it's always done by ORM messages or for order messages. There is a lot of type of these HL7 messages. They are mostly used for the communication between HIS system and the PACS or different departments by sending patient information, notifications, appointments, and so on. But the ORM messages are used for the creating the work list, and these messages can be used to send to PACS Premium HL7 listener. And as I mentioned it before, usually your HIS system would send these messages to the PACS, to the HL7 listener, and the work list will be created automatically. If you already have this PACS Premium running and you would like to, and you install it without the HL7 listener and you want to enable it, to try it, so please contact our support team. They will help you to enable it because it's related to the licensing, so you will not be able to enable HL7 listener by yourself if you already installed PACS Premium. So please contact our support and they will help you to set up this listener, HL7 listener. Here is the example of a very simple HL7 message. As you can see, it's an ORM message. You can find this message in our MedDream PACS HL7 interface specification documents. You will find it in your MedDream PACS documents. And I just put here some links about general information about the HL ORM messages, but of course you can find much more information online. And if you want to get familiar with these type of messages, basically these messages store the information. For example, PID segment store information of patient ID, patient name, birthday, gender, and so on. Or OBR segment would store information about the procedure, about scheduled procedure time, modality, or it would provide information about the accession number, title, and so on. So this is a very simplified message, which we will try to send to the MedDream PACS Premium HL7 listener to create a work list. And before it is important to note that it has some limitations. And on the configuration page of the PACS Premium, you will find this table. So I will show you it now here in the virtual machine. So let's come back to the configuration. Let's scroll down to this table. So you see this table would enable automatic conversion of received HL7 ORM messages to modality worklist record. By default, it will be disabled. So once again, if you want to have this automatic conversion of the HL7 message to the worklist, you need to enable it, and you need to pay attention to these fields, because only these fields will be used when creating the worklist, and you need to send these fields in this specific segment. So for example, patient name should be in PID segment position 5, patient ID in PID 3, for example, modality in OBR 44.2, and so on. So these fields are not changeable, as you can see. These are fixed. So when you are creating your HL7 ORM message, or you can also use our message from our document, so double check if this information is in the correct segments and in the correct positions. So we have this same HL7 message here from the slides. So as you can see, same information. What I will do, I will copy it and I will send. So there is a different kind of tools for sending HL7 messages. So I suppose most of you will use different tools for this. I have MIRV Connect, which has just a simple TCP sender, which will send my HL7 message to specific IP address and specific port. So in this case, it will send to PACS Premium HL7 listener. So I will press the send message. I will copy paste this message and press the proceed message. And as you can see, message has been received and it has been sent to the PACS Premium HL7 interface. And if we will come back here to the modality worklist, we will see that Peter Peterson worklist has been successfully created and it is available here. And once again, we can also check on the SendToPACS and see that the Peter Peterson worklist also has been created. So this is the third way how the worklist can be created. So either by creating it manually, either by creating the Windows INI files and automatically setting to automatically import to the PACS Premium, or have HL7 listener and send this HL7 message to the HL7 listener, and it will create the worklist automatically also. So now let's talk about our other tool package about MedDream PACS Lite. So of course it comes with the MedDream viewer and with Orthanc PACS. So Orthanc PACS by default, not by default at all, it doesn't have any worklist server itself, but it is possible to have like a worklist functionality by installing the additional plugin. And if you will be downloading and installing our PACS Lite packet from our website, so actually you will have this option to check mark and to install this sample plugin as well. So basically you just click and double click the exe file, click next, and it will install you the MedDream viewer or Orthanc PACS and this worklist plugin. And if you already have the Orthanc PACS in your environment and you are already using, so please check this official page in the Orthanc website about this worklist plugin. So you will find the information on how to set up this plugin, how to install it, how to enable it, and all this information. Basically, this plugin will serve the worklist files. They should be in DICOM format, in .WL format, and they will be stored in some folder in the file system. And this sample plugin will mimic the behavior of DCM key toolkit, so it will behave as the worklist SCP server for the file system. So if we would open again the virtual machine and would come to Orthanc, if we click on the plugins, we can see at the bottom that I have this worklist plugin installed. It is enabled and installed. I have this plugin configured to have the worklist here in this C Orthanc worklist folder. So as you can see here, at the moment, there is no worklist. And if we choose the Orthanc PACS worklist server, we click search button, we see that there is no worklist. So if we want to create this worklist, of course, you can create a WL format by some tools automatically, but I just want to show you how the dump file of this worklist file would look like in the text format. So as you can see, compared to the ini file, which in my case, I think it's much simpler than this one, but it is possible to use such format also. As you can see, you have the DICOM tags and the values and the comments. This template is taken from the Orthanc worklist plugin website, which I show you on the slide. So you can take, there is like a 10 example of the worklist files. So you can take them export them to the dump file and check what is the inside to get better understanding of how this file would need to look like. So I have this work list dump file created. So I have the patient name, patient ID, some information about the scheduled start date, a title, some requested procedure description, and so on. So I have this information, but I cannot put this dump file or txt file to the Orthanc because it will not understand it, it will not read it. So what I need to do, I need to create a WL format file, DICOM file from this one. So what I can use this same DCM-TK toolkit, which has this dump to DCM toolkit, which will allow me to set the file which I want to convert to the destination to which I want to convert. So I will copy this command, I will paste it here, and I just want to show the screen. And when they do it, it will create the worklist 111WL file. If we will try to open it, as you can see, it's not readable by it's not a text file, so it's in the DICOM format. So that's why I wanted to show you this in the dump file. So if we will copy this file to the worklist folder, I did not copy. One moment. Let's move. And if I will search for the worklist, it will show me the worklist for Tom Thompson. And as you can see, I'll also can open and see all the information which was provided in this worklist file. So it is visible here. So this is the way how you can create. There is also, as I told you, there is some examples. So I just downloaded them from the Orthanc website. So you can put here in this folder. If we press the search button again, you see that we have Vivaldi, Beethoven, so the real heroes here in the work list. So this is how the work list in the PACS Lite in the Orthanc can be created using this worklist plugin. And now let's talk a little bit about some limitations. So of these ways how to create a worklist. Of course, if you didn't have the worklist at all, so and you will have it, so of course it's better to have worklist than not to have them at all. But it still has some limitations which I want to cover. So for example, if the ini files, it will create you the worklist automatically. It will import and store in the database, but there is no modifications or cancellation of this worklist, meaning that you cannot create the ini file telling that please modify the John Smith worklist or please cancel the John Smith worklist, because it is not needed. Actually, if you will have two exactly the same exactly the same information in two files, and you will import them, for example, with the same patient ID, same procedure time, same title, and so on. So it will create a two work list, so it will be a duplicate in this case. And also using the HL7 listener, it has some limitations regarding the tags which can be passed, because it takes only the really required tags and will not store, like, for example, referring physician, requesting physician, or other information. And also there is also no cancellation or modification when you are sending to standard HL7 listener of the PACS Premium. Why I'm telling you about this cancellations and modifications, because usually in the real world scenario, all these types of the creation, modification, and cancellation, they are usually used together. Because, for example, someone in HIS system will order the exam for some patient, and maybe the patient name will be wrong, maybe the scheduled procedure date will be wrong, or the assigned procedure will be wrong, and the work list, the HL7 message, let's say, would be already sent. The work list would be already created. So once they edit this in HIS system, they would need to send the modification or cancellation message. So usually this type of for such scenarios and for other scenarios, the modification and cancellation of these work lists usually are needed. And if we talk about the limitations of DICOM modality work list in the PACS Lite, so as you saw, the work list should be created in very specific in WL DICOM format. And as with the PACS Premium, the ini file is imported and deleted from the file system. And here, with this Orthanc plugin, actually the work list files, they are not deleted. They are stored in this folder, and that's it. So basically, you would need also some kind of the solution which would delete the older work list. Let's say today you have 100 work lists, tomorrow you will have another 100, so totally it will be 200 files in that folder. So ideally you would want to delete these work list files when for example, the order is completed, the exam comes to the PACS. So ideally you would want to delete such file from that directory, so the radiologist wouldn't see that work list in his list on the device, because it's already has been performed. And there is no graphical interface for the Orthanc work list. So as you saw in the PACS Premium, we were able to see the work list in the user interface. We can actually even delete or edit the work list. And with the Orthanc, you cannot see the work list in some kind of graphical interfaces. So that's why we use the SendToPACS tool to check the work list to see how it looks like. And these additional functionalities which you might need for the work list would need to be implemented either by Python, C, C++, or Lua scripting. And I want to mention that Orthanc PACS and this work list plugin is not developed by Softneta. So we are not developers of this plugin or of Orthanc PACS. So all the information, please check in the official website of this plugin, official website of the Orthanc. Also, there is a quite active Google group of the Orthanc users, so you can always find some information here. And yeah, and that's it, what I wanted to say about the PACS Lite. And it's 40 minutes. Okay, so just a few more slides and about the Softneta DICOM modality worklist service. So as I told you about these limitations, which usually is needed in the real time, in the real environment. So if you need such, let's say, more complex solution for this, more dynamic solution, so our let's say DICOM modality worklist solution would allow you to create, to modify, to cancel the worklist. Also, it would remove the duplicate of the worklist if such scenarios would appear. Also, our service can accept HL7 or M messages, and also we can accept the messages in JSON format, because we have some clients who let's say are more intended to send these messages for the orders in the JSON format. So we have this option available also. And in addition to our modality worklist solution, it is possible to have solution which would send also the OMG messages, the notification messages to HAS system with the exam status. So, for example, when the exam started for the worklist, you would receive the in progress message. Once the exam is finished, you would receive the completed message, or if the exam is discontinued or canceled, you would receive the discontinued message. And also it is possible to from us to send to your HAS system HL7 ORU message, which could send you the notify HAS system that the study, that the exam is already available, it's already arrived to the PACS, and it is already available for the viewing. Also, it is possible to send some report text or the link or the accession number, study UID, or whatever is needed by your HAS system to notify you that the exam is already here. So if you would need such service, or you would want to ask about it, so contact our sales team, and they will provide you all the information needed about this service. So just 1 minute, one more minute. So let's sum up briefly. So from 8.1 version, MedDream will support the non-DICOM files, as you saw. The DICOM modality worklist helps to ensure smooth workflow between HAS, PACS, and the modalities. And if you will be developing this DICOM modality thing, you can always use our SendToPACS tool, which would simulate the modality and allow you easily to check the worklist to see if they are coming, if they are showing correctly. And to remind you, there is a free ways how you can create the worklist in the PACS Premium. So either manually using ini files or using HL7 or M messages. And if you want to have DICOM modality worklist in the PACS Lite, you would need to install this additional plugin or install our packet, and it will come already with this plugin. And if you will need a more complex solution that would allow you to create, modify, delete worklist and use HL7 or M messages, so contact our sales, and they will give you all the information. So that's it for the slides. Getting back to you, Renata, with the questions.
Okay, thank you, Marius. Excellent work. As one of our partners just wrote, I'm going to share the questions. Okay. So first one, can the non-DICOM files be considered as a series of the same study in MedDream, or would they rather be separate studies? For example, one study per non-DICOM file.
Actually, you can we treat a folder as a study, and in one folder can contain many non-DICOM files, and each folder can be treated as study, and each DICOM file can be treated as one series having one instance file.
Okay, thank you, Artūras, for the answer. Another one, DICOM modality worklist filtering question. When filtering is done on the DICOM modality worklist broker and non-filtered by the query modality for this example, can we filter to return only query information to AI modality type, for example, MR, CT, MG, or location code? Where could be a combination of location and modality, for example, location A, US ultrasound, return all patients scheduled for location A for ultrasound studies, and populate them 4 times US modalities in location A with the upcoming demos for all Sonos studies in the next 24 hours. Who is going to answer?
Yep, Marius, can you share the SendToPACS interface? So
Yes.
at the moment you can filter actually by a title, by modality type, and station a title. You can enter, for example, I don't know, exam.
Yeah, but I think I have all the work list on the SendToPACS. So, but yeah, it is possible.
Yeah, it's possible
this.
to it's possible to filter by modality, by station a title, by modality, by date as well, but we don't have the location field here.
I will share again. Third question. Can DICOM modality worklist be considered a way for exam room consoles to get via worklist without needing a PACS?
Actually, DICOM modality worklist is part of PACS functionality. It is needed. The PACS itself can be used only for modality worklist or for PACS functionality as well.
Okay, next one. We would like to have more detailed information about non-DICOM file support and token integration.
Yep. Marius, can you share the folder where non-DICOM files exist? So I will explain a little bit. So first of all, we have several plugins which supports different VNAs for non-DICOM. And each VNA has own API, how we can access it. So, but what we created files a plugin which can read non-DICOM files from folder, and in this folder can be stored any non-DICOM file, and we have a special JSON structure where we store some, can you show, Marius?
Yes,
Some patient information. And in our token integration, we simply pass the folder name where this file exists. And format is, for example, date, time, description, patient name, ID, and so on information. So for more information, please contact our support team and you will have.
Okay, thank you. Another one. Does your DICOM modality worklist system support MPPS as well? If not, what is the status of the studies that is got from the modalities, for example, cancelled?
MedDream PACS Premium supports MPPS messages, yes. Orthanc, no.
Okay, thank you. Can non-DICOM files be added to a study from the MedDream interface? What's the simplest way to link a non-DICOM file to a specific DICOM study?
So in principle, right now, MedDream allows to open several studies, and you can open DICOM studies and non-DICOM studies. And the easiest way would be to link by patient ID and the folder. So for VNA integration, we are linking by accession number or by patient ID or combination of these two. For this file system plugin, it can be linked that in the token you can tell that open a study from the PACS, for example, and at the same time open the folder from the disk. So that's how you can link with the existing plugin.
Okay. Another question is location is very important to the question.
Yeah, it's to the second. At the moment, SendToPACS doesn't have, but we will write it down and look if we can add it in SendToPACS functionality. To be honest, never heard about such a request, so we will see.
Okay, thank you. And I see it's the last question. So if somebody wants to ask something, please write now. I'm going to read the last question. Regarding the work list, did I understand correctly for PACS Premium, with INI file method cannot cancel or modify work list, but with the HL7 method, it is also not possible to cancel or modify.
With the
Marius,
ini files, yeah. The ini files is used for the creating the work list. So you cannot put any information the ini file to cancel some work list. So it would need some additional service which would, for example, remove from the database or so on. And with HL7 method also we presented the standard HL7 listener of the PACS Premium, which has some limitations, and yes, it will not accept the cancellations CA or XO modification messages. But if using our service, which is installed separately, then you could send HL7 message and you could send the creation, cancellation, and modification messages.
Okay, thank you, Marius. We got one more question. Is DICOM modality worklist a separate item price for a third-party PACS, or it is included in the viewer?
It's included in the PACS Premium, not to the viewer.
and it has separate pricing, yes, I believe. But this is the question to the sales. Yeah.
Okay, we can check and write in the presentation file if it's included or it's not in the price. Okay, so I see it's all the questions we got today. So from my side, I want to remind that recording is going to be sent in few days, and also the presentation file, and all the registrants will get to the emails we registered to this training. So thank you for attending, and I also want to invite to the new release webinar. We don't have the exact date, but in the beginning of the next month, it's going to be hosted. So let's keep in touch, follow our news, and check for newsletter. We're going to send all the updates to you. So thank you for everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, and
Bye.
have a nice evening or day. Bye.